Good morning. My name is Christoph Bock, and I would like to present to you today the molecular precision medicine proposal for an FWF cluster of excellence. I'm a professor at the Medical University and a principal investigator at the Center for Molecular Medicine. The Austrian Excellence Initiative is a large-scale research funding initiative managed by the FWF that consists of three main elements. The clusters of excellence that we will be talking about today is supporting large collaborative grants across institutions. And then there are two more elements that will become relevant over the next 2 years. One is emerging fields, projects, collaborative projects in fields that are not yet well established in Austria or just emerging worldwide, as well as the Austrian chairs of excellence that are bringing new researchers into Austria through competitive international packages. But today, really, the focus is on these clusters of excellence, of which there will be kind of a small number, 5, maybe 4, 6, will be funded by this initiative across all fields throughout Austria with quite substantial funding. So for the medical university, that is a great opportunity to strengthen those areas that it kind of strongly identifies with and in which the medical university really has critical mass and kind of leadership in Austria. And an area that particularly comes to mind is molecular precision medicine, as it combines the kind of three research areas of interest of precision, translation, and prevention, and connects it with a firm molecular understanding of diseases. So the concept of molecular precision medicine is really to use a deep molecular understanding for a precise diagnosis and targeted therapy. Also for the development of new therapeutic concepts and their clinical translation, and the prevention of diseases in the context of healthy aging. And all of these points, based on a firm molecular understanding, we will be pursuing in this cluster of excellence proposal. So the kind of idea of molecular precision medicine is highlighted by the massive advances we have seen in genomic medicine over the last few years. I'm highlighting here the example of personalized cancer therapy, where genetic profiling identifies patient-specific vulnerabilities that can be exploited with targeted drugs based on a genome sequencing, a genetic profile of the patient. And this is really changing the way how we are treating cancer, but also many other diseases will profit from this kind of molecular perspective into the foundation of the disease. This is enabled really through breakthrough technologies, and I would like to highlight just two of those. It's really the interplay of high throughput computation and massive scale data generation. And we have seen this huge advances in computational power. So a mobile phone today has the compute power that exceeds the supercomputers of the 1990s. At the same time, sequencing, since the sequencing of the human genome in the early 2000s has gone through this rapid evolution that we can sequence not only millions of personal genomes, including a lot of patient genomes in the context of clinical diagnostics, but also establish single-cell maps of all organs of the body, really characterize the complexity of diseases at the molecular level, at the cellular level, and using the combination of the computational, including machine learning and artificial intelligence, and the biomedical sequencing-based, that provides us with an unprecedented view and understanding of what happens in diseases, but also where we might be able to intervene. And this is really the core of this proposal for molecular precision medicine, to combine excellence in medical research with a technological competence, computational competence, in order to understand diseases and make the connection to new therapies. Now, we need to focus this a bit more, and we selected cancer and inflammation and the links between the two as kind of an area where a lot of progress can be made with such a focused initiative. This is not a pure cancer proposal. It uses cancer as one model where we've advanced very well in terms of molecular precision medicine and tries to establish technologies, concepts, expertise that will generalize to many other fields. It is quite a significant initiative with 35 million over 5 years and 8 institutions contributing, including the medical universities, as well as biomedical research institutes, and is run by a really very powerful team of scientists that have already proven not only their ability to do excellent biomedical research, but also to take discoveries from biomedical research forward to clinical translation and have a real impact for patients. So we structured our proposal for a cluster of excellence into 4 pillars. The first one really exploits the profiling technologies. We will follow patients over time, over the trajectory of their disease, and make them reference cases for molecular precision medicine. Secondly, we will go deep into models and mechanisms with organoids, with mouse models, perturbing, causally modeling what happens in the patients in suitable disease models. And then thirdly, there's a major focus on development of therapeutic concepts, including chemical biology and early stage academic drug development, with the idea of exploiting what we find in Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 for therapeutic purposes. Finally, that is supported and embedded by Pillar 4 on capacity building, teaching, clinical translation, and societal outreach. So I will go briefly through the first 3 pillars. That's really the scientific parts of the proposal. And that starts with the molecular patient journeys. We want to take 1,000 patients and make them extremely well characterized, not only at the clinical level, but as a timeline over the course of the disease, over the course of the treatment, with single-cell multiomics profiling, spatial profiling, liquid biopsies, radiological profiling, ex vivo drug responses, comprehensive clinical assessment, and patient-reported outcomes through kind of mobile phone apps and digital devices, with the idea that these individual patients at this level of resolution really help us put everything we do more mechanistically into the context of what is actually really happening in patients. Now, kind of the hardest part designing this proposal was to select diseases, because we cannot initially do everything, but at the same time, there is the ambition that we are creating the resources and the expertise and the methods here that will benefit a broad range of diseases. So we picked colorectal cancer and lung cancer as 2 leading causes of cancer death. And then several other cancers, pancreatic cancer, glioblastoma, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, because they are like model cancers for certain perspectives, including organoids and cell-based therapies, and also constitute major unmet medical needs. But as I said, this is not just a cancer proposal. This is why a very essential part is also on the inflammation linked conditions, where we try to understand the effect on the whole body. Rather than seeing diseases as purely cell-based or organ-based, we want to understand the context of the body in which these things are happening. And really the link between cancer and inflammation is kind of an interdisciplinary connection that will create a lot of synergy and a lot of excitement. Importantly, this is just the starting point. This is first 5 years that we are currently applying for. There will be, if successful, a second 5-year period of the proposal, and that is an opportunity to really include additional diseases. But already in the first phase of the proposal, we are building infrastructure that other projects, collaborations can dock into and utilize the resources, the data that are being created for their purposes in diseases that are not listed here. In the second part of the second pillar of the proposal. It's really about focusing on disease models in which we can perturb, because it's really hard to establish causality just by observing, even in high throughput, what is happening in patients. We need these models like organoids, like mouse models, to see what is happening at the molecular level. And we have picked a few topics that promise really large gains of knowledge in relationship to the primary cancers and the diseases we are studying in Pillar 1, and with the purpose of discovering interesting concepts for therapeutic intervention. And these concepts for therapeutic intervention, this is really what the focus of Pillar 3 is, where we take what comes from Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 and combine it with the consortium's expertise in academic drug discovery, create novel therapeutic concepts, and establish really a platform that takes these discoveries coming from clinical and biomedical research and converts this into leads for concepts for new therapies. So this is the overall concept of the proposal. And I would think, or I would argue, that it is really beneficial for the Medical University of Vienna if we are successful with this proposal, because we will be strengthening collaborative research around the topic of molecular precision medicine, which is really a cross-cutting theme across the institution, across the Medical University, with a lot of national and international interest in it. It also connects across all research proposals, all research clusters of the Medical University. So we have really people and partners and shared interests across all the topics where the Medical University has identified research clusters as areas of research priority. And precision medicine really connects those and can, in my view, strengthen broadly what research is going on at the Medical University. We also have this strong interconnecting theme of going beyond individual institutions. We have all the medical universities in Austria, the public medical universities and medical departments on board, and we connect them to the biomedical research institutes with the focus on pursuing research excellence and clinical translation. If you are interested to get involved, it's very important this proposal and the cluster, if it gets funded, this is not meant to be a closed club, but it's meant to be something that creates critical mass and creates opportunities for the wider campus, really. So this initiative will create resources, technologies, data sets, expertise that many researchers at the Medical University that are not formally part of this consortium will be able to dock into and use this to advance their own research. It also creates an interdisciplinary network, again, an open network where there will be opportunities to interact and connect and in the area of molecular precision medicine, no matter what disease you're actually interested in. And while we do not have this cluster at this point in time, we're just have submitted the first version of the proposal for review and selection. What we already have is the Austrian Platform for Personalized Medicine, which is a connection platform that is very closely aligned with this cluster in molecular precision medicine. And this I can kind of offer you today. If you're interested and you're not yet a member, go to personalizedmedicine.at and consider registering for this platform. And we will keep that platform as a kind of means of keeping everyone up to date how this cluster proposal is really going. And that is essentially like the kind of this interdisciplinary network around the cluster will also be shaped through this ÖPPM platform. So then one last thing really is we have this, you all know this big hole that we have at the moment on the campus of the Medical University, which is really giving us the space for growth. And there will be a center for precision medicine, a center for translational medicine and therapies. And really this creates, kind of together with the cluster that I'm proposing, would create a lot of synergies and opportunities to propel the Medical University into kind of the next decade of excellent research. So where do we stand at the moment? We have, just before Christmas, submitted the concept proposal to the FWF. This is currently being evaluated, and the FWF expects to invite 10 or 11 or 12 proposals for kind of a full proposal phase, which will happen over the summer. And then we will know kind of early next year which proposals will be funded, and then there will also be a relatively rapid start. So thank you very much. It was a great opportunity to tell you about what I'm excited about, and I think molecular precision medicine is really a topic that provides the medical university with unprecedented synergies and opportunities to advance research and also to help patients.